It worked. So take two. We just tried to do this live like a second ago, but the video wasn't working. So I'm hoping that this time it will. But we're having a very exciting interview today on Maddi, Tawnie surviving with a friend of ours, Chris. Here, I'm sending it to him. TBI survivor. So welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that. Hopefully now the video is stabilized and we can this will go off without a hitch, as they say.
All
All
right,
right,
okay, now it's all better. Good.
we
Yeah.
got it. So okay,
Perfect.
perfect. Hopefully we won't have that problem again. But
Should be. Yeah.
yes. So how are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, it's a nice Friday morning here. I just got back from the gym.
Oh,
Hello,
nice.
Captain Toker.
I've
Yeah,
been seeing your Instagram videos. You've been doing a lot of like ellipticaling and
it's
walking
the
stuff.
well, yeah, elliptical is a great exercise tool for me because it kind of forces the proper walking slash
Uh-huh.
running path. So I don't have to, the hardest thing for me with my right foot still struggling with a little bit of foot drop. So that throws
Yes.
me a little bit when I'm walking normally, but on the elliptical, you don't have to step. So it's the perfect
Right.
thing. Yeah.
So you still have foot drop?
Yes, I do. But over the last year, when we connected and everything, when I was back in the United States, I really developed a good just strength program on my right calf, which helped me to overcome that a little bit. So I'm definitely walking with much
Oh,
more of a control
really?
than I used to. Yeah, which is
No,
really
I
good.
ask because for me, I have foot drop as well, and so I
Yeah,
will wear when I'm out in public the brace or I wear the BioNest, which is great. But
yeah.
ideally I would be moving away from using any type of support at all for my leg. So I'm interested to hear like what kind of strength training you do that
Right.
you felt has helped.
Yeah, it just really was me just doing a ton of calf raises. I had
Yeah.
I had the modus for the foot as well for a little bit,
Yeah.
and I realized that a lot of what I was doing, what I needed work on there, was just working on my calf
Uh-huh.
and just kind of really focusing on pushing off my right foot, pushing off with my toes. Not
Uh-huh.
worrying, in therapy it was always, oh, make sure you raise your toes, you get your toes up, you get your toes
Right.
up.
Yeah.
Instead of worrying about that on the step through, at the end of the step, I focused a lot more on just pushing off with my right toes. And that
Huh.
really made a difference. Really, really, really made a difference in me walking a heck of a lot more smooth and just consistent. Yeah.
So you would say like a consistent effort on like the push off,
Yeah,
the
on
walk
the push
of
off
your
on the
foot.
right foot. Yeah, and I mean, eventually, it's now it's like second nature again, which is fantastic. But
That's awesome.
yeah, but when I was back in all the videos I was posting back in the U.S. of me walking around my dad's pool over and
Yeah.
over and over again, that was all working on really focusing on pushing off my right foot. It was a fantastic place where I could just focus on that rather than here in Bangkok. It's a little more challenging to focus on the exact walk when you're out
Mm.
on the street because the sidewalks aren't always even. You're more worried about just not tripping or something than
So
anything.
do you mind if we back up for a minute? Because I'm realizing that some people who are watching this may have not seen our prior podcast together. Do you mind maybe just giving a quick little recap of
Okay, yeah,
how
certainly.
you had foot, like what happened?
So in March 3rd, 2008, I was living in New Jersey. I was a senior in high school, and I suffered a severe traumatic brain injury in a car accident. I can't remember anything about my injury, but when I woke up, when I opened my eyes when I slowly got out of my vegetative state, I was laying in a hospital bed, and the right side of my body was paralyzed. I was at Kessler, just as you were.
Yes,
And,
same as me. Great
and
place. Hey, Priya.
yeah, fantastic. And yeah, so I learned that I had suffered a traumatic brain injury. I was in a coma for a month. I was in a vegetative state for another few weeks after that. And from that moment on, I've been working to improve. I was a senior in high school. I had a big future ahead. I'd been accepted to a number of good universities. Ended up
Mm,
choosing the University of Miami for all the reasons that I went from New Jersey to the palm tree. Very happy about that. But I've always been working to accomplish goals to fulfill what I think a bright future, a future
Right.
that is a lot better than one that would be stuck still laying in a hospital bed in New Jersey, upset and feeling bad for myself. And rather than that, I've really pushed forward, and I've been able to now live and study and work in a number of different countries. First was Beijing in 2011. Only 3 years after my injury, I went on a study abroad, and really probably should not have gone in retrospect, because I went
Nonsense.
I went with school, and I had to drop the class after 2 weeks because I was slowing them down, and so I ended up staying in Beijing by myself for the
Mhm.
additional 2 weeks, which didn't make my family too happy. But I did it. I was able to make friends. I was able to build relationships with professors there, and that it built confidence for my future. That after only 3 years after my serious injury, I was staying in Beijing by myself, adapting to a changing situation.
I mean, and that's so amazing that just merely 3 years after you had a super serious traumatic brain injury,
Yeah.
that you're living on your own abroad, to say the
Yeah.
least, and doing like cool things and really just taking advantage of life and, living to the best.
Right. Yeah. That one again, the Beijing trip, it wasn't necessarily for the life experience that it's now, like now I'm experiencing. It was more because go there to study, and it ended up being I had to adapt. And that trip really had, I always put that down as one that I like to talk about, because that really set me up for the future, a future where I do like to push limits, and I'm confident in myself, and I've got incredible self-belief, and that has continued to drive me forward. The next year I was able to study in the Galapagos Islands, and again I had to argue with the professors when we were in Miami. They said, "Oh, Chris, you shouldn't go. You're not going to be able to do it." But
Hmm.
of course, I wasn't going to let them tell me no.
Yeah.
I was going to be able to. So I went to the Galapagos Islands with my class. Again, it was not an easy trip. I couldn't climb up the volcano like everybody else did, and I was
Yeah.
upset about it. But I was able to experience a whole nother country, a whole nother part of the world.
But I mean,
Then,
that is a great life experience just because it, like you were saying, is pushing your limits and really showing you what you are capable of, which is in fact probably much more than you may have thought before.
right, exactly. And that's why I like to share now on Instagram that, again, I'm experiencing life, and I think that that
Yeah.
has really been the number one driver for me when it comes to physical therapy and for any kind of therapy, that I have goals that I'm working to achieve and just live as normally and as enhanced of a life as possible.
I love that, and I love just how much I feel like all of this has informed your life and the way that you live and appreciate things now. I'd be curious to hear what are some of the goals that you are working to currently.
So just a couple weeks ago, I got onto the treadmill for one of the first. I've never really liked using the treadmill since my injury because I haven't been walking correctly. I'd
Mhm.
much rather use the elliptical, where it's kind of keeping all my muscles and all my joints in order and doing it
Right.
correctly. But the treadmill, I mean, when I'm walking incorrectly, I'm just perpetuating a bad habit
Mhm.
with my right foot or with my hip, with my knee, whatever. And while it's always been improving, it still is not perfect. But just a couple of weeks ago, I went on, and my walk has really improved on there. I'm
Wow.
starting to feel smooth on the treadmill, and rather than that be that, I want to run on the treadmill. I don't want to use the treadmill just to walk. I want to be able to run again on the treadmill.
Can you
So,
run?
um, not really run. No, not easy. But that's where the goal comes in. That
Hmm.
yeah. So the goal now, I did when I was back in therapy back in New Jersey I did the weight, I did the, the what was it called? Some
There,
sort of,
there's a couple different ones. You're talking about one of those gait trainer things.
yeah, trainers, the weight assisted. Yeah, where I was using it to
Yes.
try how to run again. Yeah, I did it in Philadelphia at, I can't remember the name of the institute that I was at. But yeah, so I did that a while ago with the weight assisted, and then I realized now my right arm is doing well enough where I can hold my weight through my right arm too, which is great. So on the treadmill now, I'm able to just hold on to the sides of the treadmill and kind of, I'm not going full weight. I'm not putting my weight fully through my legs. I can't do
Uh-huh.
that yet. Or I mean, if I do that, I'll probably end up tripping and falling and making things a lot worse for me. But I'm able to, so now I'm learning to, or redeveloping the pattern to run again, like
Oh, that's
consistently,
awesome.
not like one or two steps, but on the treadmill where it's constant. And again, so I've been posting videos just maybe a week and a half ago. I said, you know what, I'm going to start to run on the treadmill again.
Hmm.
And so I'm not there yet, but that's one of the goals that I'm working towards.
That's a huge goal of
One of the
mine
fresh,
too.
yeah, it's a cool one. It's cool just even the other day when I'm able to just in the morning wake up, go to the gym, and just get right on the treadmill and start like going kilometers per hour, which is about 3.5 to 4.2
Yeah.
miles per hour, which is just about starting to get into a little bit of a jog. And I'm able to get
Mhm.
both feet off the ground. And it's very exciting.
Do you get like, because so that's a huge goal of mine too, to run. And one thing that I just kind of get nervous about is my ankle. I don't want it to roll, or do you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like that's why I
Did,
feel like I would have to wear a brace, or my
did
body
you
needs it.
did you did you ever see did you see the video of me in Belize? In
Yes.
yeah, in for anyone who didn't see, yeah, again, I'm a big push your limits kind of a person, and that's what's gotten me to where I am today, living abroad and living confidently. But in, I think it was 2015, I was in Belize for another study abroad, and I had just started to run. I just started to be able to get both feet off the ground, and I'm in front of these Aztec Mayan temples
Mhm.
with my class. I'm like, oh, this is the perfect spot. I have to run in front of these temples. I've got to take a video and show off to everyone that I can run in front of these darn temples. Took two strides, and then yeah, my foot didn't get up, and I didn't roll my ankle. I wish I had just rolled my ankle. I clipped my foot, tripped, and I broke my collarbone.
Yeah, yikes.
So yeah, and then I had to leave Belize right away on the next flight back to Miami. But again, that's a perfect example of experiencing life in a way, that prior, if I hadn't been through everything that I'd been through prior to that, then that would have been a really big deal, breaking my bone in another
Yeah, of
country,
course.
then having to go to a random emergency room there where the guy is takes an x-ray finally and then goes through the x-ray, goes, oh no, it's not broken, when you can see the break. And I'm like, well, we're speaking only Spanish. And
So it
it's something that,
wasn't a big deal to you?
no, yeah, I mean, of course it was a big deal. It just wasn't overwhelming. I was able to
Right.
hold my confident approach, my feeling of, hey, everything will end up being okay. What's up, Stuart? Long time no see, my buddy from high school,
Hey,
pre-injury.
sure.
And yeah, it's just that I feel much more confident and comfortable in any kind of a situation thanks to my injury and what we've all been forced to deal with, but what we're able to overcome. It's fantastic. Yeah.
So how have you like gotten to a level of confidence? Like, did it take you a while to get to be the way that you are, or?
Again, I bring back, well, right from the start, it's setting goals and working to achieve them.
Mhm.
It's from what Stuart will remember if he's still on, from senior prom was 3 months after my injury. On June 6, 2008, my injury was March 3rd. that was the first goal that I had set, that I wanted to be able to go to my senior prom to be with my friends. And I actually think I'm in a picture with Stuart. Well, he's holding me up. He's one of the people holding me up out of my
Mhm.
wheelchair. Um, that,
Wait, so you
you
went to
know,
your prom so
I
soon
went to my
after?
prom. Yeah, I went trying to like show everyone that, hey, man, I'm still okay. I'm still me. But looking back at the photos, I was in very, very, very bad shape. I was just off like the feeding tube and stuff. Very
Oh my
skinny.
God.
I was very had the very pale white hospital tan because I'd been in therapy for I'd been in the rehab, living in rehab for 3 months. And
Wow,
but
but you still went.
yeah, but it's something, I was still able to enjoy it as much as I could with my friends. And then 2 weeks later was my high school graduation. That was the big one. That the goal that I'd set with my father, that I wanted to be able to get up out of my wheelchair, surprise the entire my school and all my classmates
Hmm.
and their families, and walk across the stage to get my diploma. And again, if anyone sees the video on YouTube, it's not really me walking. It's me being my dad holding me up and me using a four-prong walking cane and slowly limping across the stage. But I did it. I had set the goal and worked to achieve it. And from there, it was only up. I took the next year off. I didn't go to college like everyone else in my first year. I stayed home to work to be well enough to go to college the next year. That was my goal.
Hmm.
And again, once I accomplished that, I went to college that next year. I wasn't in good shape at all looking back, but I did it, and
Did you
I
still
set
have like a cane or anything at that point?
I wanted to go without. I brought a cane, but I was going with nothing. That was my goal. I didn't want to need anything to walk or to do anything. And
Hmm.
so I wasn't walking well, but I was able, and my family was
But
confident
you
enough.
were.
But yeah, that I did it. I had worked every day outpatient therapy, working by myself, working with therapists at Kessler for a while. It was really my dad. I owe him an incredible debt of gratitude that we would drive an hour each way every
Wow.
morning and afternoon, fighting traffic on not on the Parkway and the Turnpike. Oh, it was terrible every day. And but we did what we had to do to accomplish the goal, and it built an incredible amount of confidence in me moving to getting into college and starting university. And any struggles that I had, the next thing was going to Beijing. And when 2 weeks through the trip, I couldn't keep up with my friends, but I had the confidence because of the goals I'd worked to achieve in the past to stay on my own. To hey, I can do this. I'm strong. I'm confident in myself. I can have a good conversation with people. I can make friends. I can get help from other people if I need it. And
Yeah.
so that's where the confidence has continued to grow in the yeah and now all the way to today, where I've now spent 5 years living here in Bangkok and experiencing incredible things every day.
That was going to be the next thing I was going to ask is when did you move to Bangkok?
So I'll go back a little bit if I may. Sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
gotta share the story a little. So when I graduated college in Miami, I studied finance in college. That was my goal prior to my injury. That was the plan prior to my injury. And I started working for a banking institution. I had my own office, and my brain was
In
different
Miami?
in Miami. Yeah, South Florida. My brain was different after my injury. I had gotten my finance degree. It wasn't easy. My family helped me out a lot, but I got that. But when I started working in my own office, I realized that this is not what I want to do anymore. I couldn't stay focused. My brain was different now. I needed interaction. I needed to have new atmospheres, new experiences, and I wasn't getting that. Staying in the office all the time, working just
Hmm.
over the phone, talking to people, but over the phone, and I was selling stuff. And it's much easier to talk to people that want to talk to you, not talk to people that are like, okay, you want to sell me this? I'm done with you. Like, get
Yeah.
off the phone. Wasn't really a conversation starter. So I went back to school rather than continue to try and fight and stick with the initial plan, the pre-injury plan. I adapted and I went back to graduate school for hotel management.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed new experiences. After my injury, I realized I could learn languages. I was able to speak not fluently these languages, but I could have conversations, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed meeting people from around the world. So I decided that hotel management was going to be the next opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
with the goal, with the dream someday to end up in an international place hotel. And so I got my degree after 2 years, and then my first job offer was to move to Bangkok. Oh, and
So
without ever being here in Thailand or anything, it was immediately yes, okay, yes, I'm in. And 2 weeks later, after I got the contract, I was in Bangkok. It was a very quick move, and I've been here ever since. And it's
wow.
minus last year, but that's because of COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's been a constant experience and confidence in myself that I'm going to be able to adapt to whatever changes I have to make and whatever life throws at me. And that's what I've been able to do. And again, it's not something I would have done prior to my injury, which makes me very proud
Uh-huh.
that I used my injury for everything to enhance my life rather than to hold me back, I
I
guess.
like that. I like that a lot about using
Yeah.
your injury to enhance your life because ultimately I feel like that is true and that's the way to look at it if you choose to do so.
I mean, right. I'm very fortunate. There's no doubt. I'm blessed in whatever way that I'm able to. But and even if for people watching, even if enhancing your life doesn't necessarily mean living and moving around the world if it's not possible, but it means focusing and seeing what your new brain or your new body is good at, is better at. I have definitely different skills since my injury. And rather than, again, like I said, sticking with finance or sticking with a job, working in New York City or something, which would have been the plan prior to my injury, or would have been the eventual goal if I hadn't adapted, changed the plan. I realized, hey, I'm better at having conversations with people. I suffered from disinhibition, but I was able to
Mhm.
use that to my advantage, and now I have no filter, but I use that to start conversations with people and not have any issue starting a conversation with a random stranger, whether it's a celebrity, whether it's somebody that I think is incredible. I can start a conversation just like it's every other person, and I've taken advantage of that fact.
Oh my God. I love that you just said that because I do the exact same
Yeah,
thing. I don't let anything hold me back. Like for me, it's like now if I think something, I'm just gonna say it and I'm gonna find a way to get it out and like whatever. Maybe it could be perceived as awkward or like kind of weird, but like I don't care. Life is too short to
yeah.
not just like put yourself out there.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, right. Again, it's a level of confidence for us both because of that. Exactly. We've overcome or we're overcoming currently some very difficult challenges. So, what the hell? What's the worst that's going to happen?
Exactly.
Yeah. And by by accepting that, embracing that difference in me that prior than before my injury, and I've been able to use it to again enhance my life. And it's a something that I would recommend to anybody going through, whether it's a physical or mental disability or it's just life in general. See how experiences are affecting you and changing you for whatever reason, and use those new ways to your advantage to make your life damn better.
But so here's a
Moving.
question. So when you mentioned you were working in finance and you realized that your brain works differently, you don't think like this really anymore. How did you go about figuring out what it was you wanted to do next, what you were good at?
Again, when I graduated college in 2013. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
In
shoot.
20,
I think Tawnie just messaged us.
she said,
I don't know.
she
I can't see because we're in this.
she hopefully she can get in.
Hopefully she can join. Or oh, wait, I can just send this to her, right? Yeah, there we go. I just sent her the video.
All right. Cool.
But
So at
yeah,
the
go
end of
ahead.
20, my sister and I both graduated from college, different colleges, and our vacation, our trip was to. We went on a graduation vacation to Tanzania in Southeast Africa,
Oh,
and
that's so cool.
that trip is what changed my mind because that was such an incredible experience, hospitality wise, hotel wise, just
Oh,
experiencing life wise. I learned Swahili while I was there. In just the short
ah, that's
10,
so cool.
I was having conversations, meeting people. It was really an incredible kind of experience. So I really, even before starting my new finance job, it kind of got in my mind like, you know what this is what I want to do. I want to be around the world. I want to be abroad. I want to live up to the CD worldwide title, right?
But so you didn't realize that until you did this post-graduation trip?
Right, exactly, yeah. So, and then in conjunction with, again, I could learn languages, and not to the point of being fluent, but you know what, I learned Swahili in a week, and it made a difference. You know, it was cool, it was fun, it was exciting, seeing new places. So when I went back to this office where I was in my own office and I thought it was cool, then I realized it was the kiss of death, being all by myself all day, just with a phone and a computer. And so I was quick to when it was time after just a few months, a mutual kind of a party saying, "Hey, this is not the correct thing. I want to go back. I want to go into hotel management." And the best way to do that for me was to get my master's degree in hotel management. Start
Uh-huh.
interning at hotels. I interned at a hotel in Hong Kong for one of the summers, and again, that was the first hotel I ever worked in was the Peninsula Hotel in Hong Kong, which is like the top class hotel. And it was the first time standing up for 9 hours a day as a front desk agent. My
Wow.
legs, God, it was hard, man. But again, I adapted and I made it work, and I had a great summer, and it set me up again for a future living in Asia.
So was that like, because now you've been in Bangkok for like 5 years, you said, is the
Yeah.
plan to stay there, or are you constantly seeking new opportunities, see where life could take you next?
Right. I really enjoy it here. The people are great, and it's easy. It's easy to live here. I have my own place. It's nice. But now I'm working. I'm done. No more hotels. I'm working with a new craft beer brewing startup company,
Yeah,
which will
wait,
be in
let's
the
talk a little bit about that.
Unique Bavarian Brewery (UBB). It's coming. We are introducing an invention from Germany. It's a very international company. We're in Zoom calls every week with Colorado, with Florida, with Germany, with the Philippines, with Bangkok. So now I'm getting a little bit of both, still with a little bit of hospitality and with
Mhm.
client relations.
Best of both
Will
worlds.
forward, but still getting a little more business as well with my first degree in finance. So it's a cool combination, and it's got great opportunities. You know, I'll be able to travel. I'll be able to come back to the United States. All this post COVID, of course.
Oh,
Post once
how did you find or create this opportunity for yourself?
uh, people relations, building relationships with people. That's the start. You know, the CEO of the company, a good friend of mine here in Thailand. We've
Hmm.
been good friends for a number of years, and it's seizing opportunities when they come up. It happened right before COVID. I was in a different job. I had been out of the hotel world for a little while. I was working in an office again, and it didn't work out. And so this opportunity came up, and I jumped at it, and I've been with it now for over a year. And again, last year was a tough year because it was
Mm-hmm.
all virus, whatever. But I was able to stay engaged overseas back in the United States. I met my partners in the U.S. I went out to Denver, went out to a couple other places to meet some people, and then now I'm back here, and we're really starting to move forward. It's exciting. These next couple of weeks are going to be really pivotal and for the future of the company, which is cool.
I have another question. I just
And
thought
well,
of you're talking.
anyone who sees this and is interested in starting their own business or things like that, UBB is going to be the one that can help you out and start brewing your own beer, start making it happen.
Wait,
That's
so
my
I need to hit you up for that because my dad has lately been huge into like brewing his own
yeah.
craft IPAs, and
Okay.
maybe you should do that.
Well, again, we're gonna be selling equipment. We're selling a new way of brewing, a new system of brewing. So we're not going to be selling beer. We will be selling just German
No,
engineered.
but that's what I'm saying, beer to brew. Or like
Oh,
to brew
right,
beer. My dad likes to brew
right.
IPAs.
So it's somebody like your father. We're going to be selling a homebrew system that's like dynamic and that he could. That's it exactly right. That we'll be able to start. People will start their own businesses, brew their own beer without the expertise of being an actual brewer. You can just now on a touch screen set everything up. 21st
So
century
when
stuff.
will it be available?
We're hoping in the States by the end of April. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. We're hoping.
Well, definitely keep me updated because I'm
Oh
very, very interested in one for my
yeah.
dad.
Right. So no, it's yeah, it's and bringing it back to recovery that again the biggest thing for me it's been adapting to change, adapting to an ever-changing situation, that over here in the spring of 2019 I was supposed to move to Shanghai. I had
Mhm.
gotten a job in Shanghai as a guest experience manager at the Sofitel Shanghai, and I was excited. I quit my job here at the hotel in Bangkok, and a month later, the trade war started to happen between the States and
Mhm.
China, and my visa got canceled. I couldn't go anymore. So I had no job. I was over here in Bangkok with no job, with no source of income, anything of the sort. And again, rather than freak out, I set goals. I had things that I had to accomplish that if I hadn't suffered my injury, if I hadn't experienced as much as I had, if I hadn't worked to achieve so many different things, I would have freaked out here by myself in the summer of 2019 with no job, with no nothing. Instead, I was able to work out and get work, get jobs, have a way to survive and continue to enjoy my life, to experience different things, go different places. And it ended up working out that in January of last year that I was able to help write the business plan for this new company.
Wow.
So
Go ahead. Go ahead.
now tell me your turn. Your turn.
I was gonna say that's it's very cool that like you were able to I think maybe all of your past experiences and like since your injury, it's contributed to how you view and live your life today and makes you have this mindset of like, oh, okay, maybe I don't have a job anymore, but like no problem, I'll figure something out. And then you do.
Right. Yeah. There's no doubt that, and again, that goes with this last year in COVID as well. When I was, all right, Tawnie just joined us.
She just joined, so I think she'll request in a second.
Um, all of last year, I went back to the United States in all right, here she comes. I went back to the U.S. in March of last year, and I got stuck there.
Is she
Oh,
in? Or did it work? Tani! Hello.
who's in
Hello.
Oh, there she is.
the How
Hi.
are you?
Just off of work.
Yeah, you guys went a whole 30 minutes before we had scheduled. You went a whole
No,
hour, actually.
no,
Well,
30 minutes.
see, that's we had said 9:30, but then Chris said that he had something, so we had to do it earlier. So that's
Gotcha.
why we started it early, and I knew we would just pop on when it work
Yeah.
got on. So I'm sorry about that.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
Tawnie.
I was like,
No,
I'm at literally a job, so there's no way I can just like pop in and say I have to be live. So kind of sucks, but whatever. So I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but
talking
continue.
about
Hello, hello.
life and happiness and adapting to change, ever adapting and being confident in ourselves to do just that. All right, she's in and out. All right, yeah. So, no, it's very cool. I'm sorry, Maddie. We were where did we leave it?
I was actually something you said earlier gave me a question. So Chris was just talking about how he's had a bunch of various opportunities kind of crop up and he's really taken advantage of them. And this new home brewing
Yeah.
system that he's helped make the business plan for and stuff and now is working on in Bangkok. But you mentioned that when you were back in the States because of COVID, you were still working on this. And in my mind, I'm thinking, like, so that means you're talking with people in Bangkok and Germany, whatever, all over. Like, how do like, you get tired when you have to have calls at like weird hours, like midnight or whatever, so you're on, because the time schedules are so different. Like, that's the thing I struggle with personally, like just
Um,
having late
yeah,
night calls. To
right.
me it's like 9 o'clock is like late.
No, I go to sleep early too, so I appreciate it, and I apologize to keep you up so late, Maddie.
Oh no,
But
I mean it's fine.
um, again, you adapt to change to whatever it takes, you know. So I've had to take calls in the U.S. It was difficult at first, but you adjust. Again, I've been now overseas with most of my friends and all my family back in the U.S. still, so I'm used to all the different time changes and things like that. It keeps things exciting. It keeps me excited, and it keeps me from sticking with any routine. And routine is what bores me and what um, gets me off my focus, which is a bad thing. Yeah, and
I like
the
that
course.
attitude. It keeps things exciting.
Exactly. You know that I bring back COVID time. You know, when I was back in the U.S., I missed Bangkok terribly, of course, all the time. But you know, rather than just sit and mope and lay in my bed or whatever all day, or just sit on the computer, I started to really improve my game. That's what it was. You know, I rode my bike with my father every day, many miles. We went over 1,000 miles biking, set the goal to achieve 1,000 miles, and that's what we did. And the big thing that my walking improved dramatically. And so, even though it was a very
Well,
challenging year, tough when it came to not being with my friends, not living my normal life, you know, you make the best of it. You adapt and you make the best of whatever situation you are in. And that is the number one thing since my injury in 2008 until today, 13 years later. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me, you know, I'm more and more inspired and motivated every day because I continue to improve. I feel it. And it makes me want to work harder and to try new things.
I always love you having that attitude. So when you have early calls and late calls, do you like try to nap or how do you manage or you just
yeah.
push through and hope that that doesn't happen the next day?
Also,
Well,
what
what
I was wondering.
I'll nap. I nap. I'm not ashamed to admit that I'll take a nap every here and now at 31 years old. Why not? But you know, yeah, you figure it out. You know, I set my alarm a little early this morning because I wanted to go to the gym before, so I went to the gym a little bit earlier than normal, um, and did what I had to do. Yeah, you make it work, whether it's phone calls, whether it's whatever, and experiencing life, and that's the important thing.
So yeah. And I think we need to normalize naps and the fact that's why I wanted to hear. I was like, how do you like really do that in a day?
I'll I'll I, I'll take a nap today. I'll take a Friday nap, probably early, probably by 11 o'clock. I'll be back in bed, and I'm proud of it. I'll own it. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
That's like one
Hmm.
thing. I feel like when we're younger, everyone like wants to be that person who never sleeps. And I feel like now that I've gotten older, I'm like, I want to brag about the fact that I do sleep. I need
Yeah,
it
right.
Yes.
Too funny.
way more than I did before.
It needs to be backwards. There needs to be like designated nap time. Like as adults, imagine how
Yes.
much better we'd be if it's like, that's it. Go
Yeah,
take like a 30-minute, just like, not even nap sometimes, just like break from adulting. I just want 30 minutes.
break from life, right?
Yes. A break.
So I thought
Wait,
it was
yeah.
amazing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Maddie.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I'm gonna take a picture of us now that all of us are on here, real quick.
Smile.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Tawnie.
Was I saw you say, I just thought that was pretty amazing. Like, did somebody tell you to start doing that, or was that just like a random, like, I'm going to try this backwards?
But it was more of just like a random, like, why, and now I'm like, why the hell haven't I been doing that for the past like 3, 4, 5 years? It's frustrating in the end, but again, rather than look back, we're moving forward. Then my keep moving forward mentality, now at least I have the opportunity to take advantage of it. Yeah, it seems that I'm able to get a lot more action going backwards, more so than just going forward. And yeah, well, going backwards on the elliptical, but we're always moving forward. Sorry, we have to.
No, but I love that you are just being creative and how quickly you said it. I'm not looking at, oh man, I should have been doing this. It's like I'm doing it now.
Yeah,
And sometimes I feel like just trying something a different way, like all for me, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can ride a bike anymore, was my first reaction. And then I got on a bike and I was like, I can do it, but it was a little funky. So
yeah,
I think it's important for us to always keep trying things in different ways.
exactly. The more for anybody suffering any sort of a physical injury or mentally too, it doesn't matter that the more you do, now I'm able to like, I feel so free, my legs, I feel so free just like jumping, bouncing around outside at the pool area, just trying new things. And once it works one time and then you get used to it, then you're like, okay, I'm bored, I'm ready to just continue to try, continue to do stuff, And it's very cool that I'm 13 years out of my injury, and I'm experiencing the best days that I've had since 2008. And it's lucky. Yeah,
That makes me so happy.
it's a really cool thing, and it's for anyone. A lot of the people that I've met through Instagram since I really joined this incredible brain injury community last year during COVID time in the USA. Um, Most people that I've seen are 3, 4, 5 years post injury, 6 years even. Um, and I'm 13 years post injury, and I'm still experiencing incredible return because I've stayed consistent.
That's so crazy and
That
so like makes
It's
me
yeah,
feel
refreshing.
good about the
yeah,
future. Yeah,
that
refreshing to hear.
our brains are incredible. That I've been able to focus on exercise, and again, I'm experiencing. Really cool that I did a little talk a while ago on tomorrow is going to be better than today, and really believing that because with people with injuries, people with brain injuries like ours, tomorrow is going to be better than today, or we have the opportunity to make every day the best day. And so it's up to
Exactly.
so we all have that chance, and it's very, very, very wonderful.
Chris, with your attitude and just how you're still finding your recovery, and I just want you to know, like, I reference you to a lot of people because you're right. A lot of people are not 13 years out, or sadly, what I found is a lot of people in the community, it's like once you get by like 8 or 9, they just kind of like drop off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So I really, really appreciate that because I know a lot of us heard you're as good as you're going to get in 6 months, and it's like they need
yeah,
to stop that. Like I'm telling you, year 5 from year 4, like I'm not well, I'll be year 5 in May. It's like so much different. So to hear you saying 13 years out, you're still noticing things reminds me to keep pushing myself, to keep trying things and seeing.
exactly.
yeah. It's
Onward.
yeah, yeah. that's exactly it. It's always just pushing your limits that you might not think possible, but for tomorrow you might be able to do it. I remember in
I'm
therapy where
sorry.
Yeah.
back in the old days, like if I couldn't do something on day one, by the next day I was able to do it because that was when neuroplasticity was very sharp. But now it may be an extra day or two, but I'm still able to do it, and it's fantastic. Yeah, it's
And listen here,
motivating.
Noreen just says 30 years out, and I'm proving that's
I
Very,
love to hear.
yeah.
And
so
Brad
good to
said,
hear
I'm
that.
not a napper, but since my TBI, I've been sleeping like a rock. So I used to call them my mini comas. Cause like when I
Yeah.
take a brain nap, it's like
You're
Patrick, I was
out.
like, I'm tired. Yeah, I'm out cold. Like he grabbed my phone out of my hand. Like he was like, you're just done.
It works nice. Yeah. No, yeah. For me, sleeping it's not the easiest thing in the world, but once I'm
Mm.
out, I'm out. I won't
How
always
is
get.
your sleeping? Like,
Yeah.
do you
I
sleep soundly?
when I'm out, I'm out. Like to the point. But this has been since prior to my injury. Like, I won't always get 8 hours, but the sleep that I get is deep. There are five will go off in my apartment. I won't wake up, which isn't a good thing. But that yeah. So I still get good rest.
Sorry, I think it was kind of like breaking up a little bit. I didn't really catch all of that, but I think I got the point. What is going on here?
I don't know. I heard him,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Maybe it's my thing. I don't know. I it was like kind of going out, but
Are you back? Are we back?
I hear
I think
you.
now it's fine.
All right, okay. No, I was just saying that I when I sleep, I won't always get 8 hours of sleep, but the sleep I get is deep and
Yes.
can't be knocked out. It can't be woken up unless it's like with uh yeah
Someone just
yeah
mentioned sleeping on planes. I can't really do that. Oh,
no
so
neither.
it's going out for Adrian too. Maybe it's not. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's the connection. I'm not sure, but
Oh
it's
okay
fine for the moment.
yeah. No.
Ow.
So I want to say I said I owe a debt of gratitude to my father, of course, and the rest of my family. But
Yes.
I want to say for everybody in the brain injury community on Instagram has been phenomenally helpful for me, motivating, incredibly motivating. More so being able to share my journey, hearing from everyone, getting support from everyone has been so fantastic and it makes me work harder. And so it's really helped me over this last year continue to improve dramatically. So I wanted to make sure I throw in the debt of thank you to Maddi, to Tawnie, to everyone who will see this. That yeah, sure. I'd love to hear more about Tawnie's story or Maddi's story. Maybe that's the name's wrong, and how you all met. We all, Stuart, we all met just through here on that.
Instagram.
I saw Maddi using a device, the Modus device, last year sometime, and
Yes.
connected her.
That's how we connected was because
Yeah.
of the
Yeah,
mode.
exactly. Yeah, and that's all. It's the beauty of some parts of social media where like-minded people that are looking for the same thing are able to help each other. And yeah, so again, with the way that I learned about the Modus device and how much that has and was fantastic and gave me some more to do, more therapy to do when I was bored in the U.S. And
Mhm.
yeah,
And then Tawny and I connected through a friend of ours, a mutual friend we have in the stroke and brain injury community. And we hit it off, started going Instagram live together every week, started a podcast and have stayed obviously really great friends. We talk like pretty much every day.
It's just, yeah, it's been awesome. So it's actually kind of funny that because of just Maddi posting like her story, that's how then we got
Yeah.
connected to this. Yeah. So if you guys wouldn't have been sharing your stories, imagine we never would have met.
We all never would have connected, which is
Uh,
crazy.
Fate
Now
had
we
to
just need to all meet together in Bangkok.
Yes.
happen in California when I was there, but it didn't work out.
I know. I'm
It's
like
okay.
crazy.
We'll meet up in Thailand.
Yeah.
And come to Bangkok. Come to Bangkok, and anyone in the injury community or community,
Like, you think
come,
I'm kidding, but
Yeah.
I will go. We
please.
will go.
It's an incredible place. As soon as there's a 10-day quarantine still period, but soon as if vaccinated, I imagine by August they'll wipe that out and you'll be able to travel as much as you're all welcome in Thailand. It's inexpensive and you can just find a place easily and live the dream with me. It's really cool here.
I want to visit so bad. And Noreen, so we've way fallen off with the podcast. Basically what happened was then we started doing videos, and so we kind of just went on to YouTube. Oh, there we go. Thank you. And so we have not recently uploaded in a while, but Adrian's, it's actually funny. It showed me in my memories that a year ago was our interview with Adrian.
I saw your memory. That's crazy. Sorry, I'm just trying to respond to this.
But yeah, again, the biggest thing, we all have the opportunity to make our lives fantastic, no matter what situation we are in. That set goals, follow, work to achieve your goals, and use the feeling of achieving your one goal to move forward, build momentum in yourself, build confidence in yourself. And that, again, that's the biggest thing for my recovery has been I'm very confident in myself.
I was going to say, yeah,
some people
exude confidence.
My mom might think I'm a little bit overconfident.
Hey, listen, is it just in mom's MO to like try to you're like, listen, I know you're trying to protect me and calm me down, but be my cheerleader.
Maybe sometimes they'll say I'm a little overconfident, but just a little. And but even the overconfidence, to be overconfident, to push your limits again. It wasn't for me being overconfident. I never would have gone to Beijing. I never would have gone to the Galapagos Islands. I never would have gone to Hong Kong, and I certainly wouldn't ever have moved here to Bangkok.
You never would have had such like amazing formative experiences.
And I could have stayed in New Jersey and continued to improve myself slowly. Not gone to Miami at all, but I wouldn't. I don't believe that I physically would be where I am either, even if I was in therapy every day for the past 12 years, because I need to have life too. And it's an important piece for everybody to have something that you're working for. Think forward. And that helps accomplish any goal or helps to move you forward in any kind of a therapy, physical or mental, that, knowing that the harder I work today, it's going to make my dreams or my goals of whatever I'm looking for that much better. It started with me. If I keep working today, I'm going to be able to walk. I've got a vision. I'm going to be able to walk across the stage to get my high school diploma. I'm going to surprise everyone in the crowd. In my vision, it looked a lot better than it was in real life when I see the video. But it doesn't matter because that vision that I had helped me to accomplish the goal and to work to get better. And then the same thing with moving to Miami. And I have a great vision of myself in my head that I don't see myself. Now it's better because I'm walking a lot better, but I still don't think of myself as walking any differently than anybody different else. And I hate when I hate even thinking that people would see that first in me, and because I don't see myself that way. And that has been one of the main things that has driven me forward, that I've got incredible visions in my head of myself and of what I plan next and what's going to come next. And that's what makes me work so hard to get to get me in reality just as great as I am in vision in my head, or how great situation can be in what I have in my head. I want them to be as close to equal as possible.
I love that you've been talking about all this because one of my huge goals is living independently and living abroad independently. So I love hearing you talk about like how you have had these goals and continue to have goals, and you just keep pushing forward to achieve them somehow and find a way.
Yeah, and right. Again, yeah, do what you have to do to make it happen, or try your best, and have the vision. The vision is a really cool thing. It really helped me out, and it's helped me to be very confident. Let's say very confident, not overconfident.
Very
No,
Very,
confident. Good.
and yeah, it's helped me out a lot.
I love that. The vision. I heard it a really cool way. Someone was like, I live in the future. Like I'm living my better me. Like every day I'm trying to be better. And so I live in the future as I'm already that better person. So I was like, that's a kind of really cool way to look at it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you know,
that's so
every
cool.
opportunity I try to be that better person that I'm trying to be. I'm not every day always doing great, but like if I'm living in the future, then I'm being my best self. Like,
Whoa, that's like really meta. I love that.
did you like that?
That's meta.
Hey, excuse me, I'm having more personal development, but sorry, my dogs obviously can tell. With mommy out at work all day, they're like, I miss
They want
you.
some love.
Welcome, Sky. Welcome, Sky.
Yeah.
Sky.
When did you guys start? Because I know that it always cuts us off at
We started. Oh, it would be then.
We started at what was it, 8:30? So we
Yeah,
started almost
yeah.
an hour.
Now, or
So I
not?
guess maybe we can start to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Hey, ow! I'm sorry.
I know, Tawnie, you got on later because of work, so
Yes,
I don't
sorry.
want to.
But no, I appreciate the opportunity, and again, I say thank you to everyone watching this or will watch this, because everyone has pushed me forward so much and has continued to help me to improve myself, and that's been fantastic. And I urge anybody interested to reach out to me about living abroad or about experiencing life challenges, overcoming challenges. And yeah, thank you, Maddi, and keep working hard. You'll get to exactly living independently and overseas shortly. Yeah, again, you guys are all many years.
We'll have a follow-up when she's living abroad and talking with you. I'm gonna reference this.
Yeah, you guys are all many years earlier than me, and so
I'm
we're
older than you.
no.
In injury
in
recovery.
recovery. Okay. I was like, I'm the old lady.
So yeah,
You're not that old.
I'll be 35 this year.
That's
Okay.
young.
Can't
35.
I remember seeing 35-year-olds and thinking, oh my God, they're so old. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I remember thinking that was like, you're almost,
I've been talking about envisioning the future and envisioning having goals in my head. I can't even see that far to 35. You know, that perfect.
No,
vision.
I'm kidding. I'm excited to be 50. I already have 50-year-old plans. Okay, guys. I got a 50-year-old birthday.
Gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Chris, so much for joining us. If anyone is just logging on now, we'll put this on our IGTV and we'll share it. So definitely catch the replay.
Thank you.
You're a lovely young woman.
And we will have Sunday. Sorry. So thank you guys.
Yes. Survivor Sunday cocktail hour. So
I gotta get those ingredients.
I'm
gonna repost that. Yeah. Repost that.
So join us for a drink on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, and we'll see you guys all then.
4 a.m. Bangkok. 4 a.m. Bangkok.
4 a.m. Exactly. You might need to
2
wake
p.m.
up and join us.
Yeah. Set your
All right.
alarm to have a cocktail with us.
Exactly. Set it for 4 a.m. All right. Bye, everyone.
All right.
Okay, thank you.